Beyond the Fist, the Street Fighter League Livecast talk show presented by Toga TV. I'm your host, togashiazrael. Time for episode 4, week 4, match day 3. As you may notice, we are currently missing an overlay. We are also missing a panelist. Due to scheduling issues, we are missing Geki. Congratulations on becoming a homeowner and moving into your new place. He will be returning for episode 5, week 5, match day 4 review, which will air Monday, May 13th. Tonight we have the rest of our panel. Welcome back, Canada's Grandmaster Fong and Vancouver Street Battle technical analyst Mortsy.
Hey. Yeah, that's me.
And also say hello once again to online guile specialist and no-fly zone aficionado, because you cannot jump in on freedom. What is good, SplicedHelix?
What's up?
Alright, so all video footage from today's episode is used with permission from Capcom. Follow the Street Fighter League and the Capcom Pro Tour on Twitch at twitch.tv/CapcomFighters, on YouTube at youtube.com/CapcomFighters, and on Facebook Live, facebook.com/CapcomFighters. So, much like a certain player from this first matchup, let's see if you guys can come through strong and carry the show in Geki's absence. Let's land those opening shots. Time for first hit. Match number one, excuse me. It is Team Frost versus Team Storm. Team Frost going into this one 1-1 on the back of an OCV from the President of the Earth on the side of Nephew, as well as a capable play of Dual Kevin's Rashid, and of course Up to Snuff, just getting started now with the Necalli after being target banned in week 2, excuse me. Team Storm, on the other hand, seemingly caught up in a lot of moving parts, trying to get pieces together. Idom, the target ban, still has not shown up. Classico and his signature V-Trigger 2 Tyrant Pressure looking more like a peasant push, because we haven't seen it win at all. And Samurai, up until this past week, the PAX West 2017 E-League Amateur Series champion, looking like an amateur in a pool of professional players, having yet to win a set until this past week. More on that right now. Here is your first clip.
Really?
Yeah.
He hasn't won a set?
Yeah. This is...
Samurai hasn't won a set yet? That actually blows my mind.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So, let's take a look at this first clip. Team Frost versus Team Storm.
Running right into the jump roundhouse.
Yeah, caught him right up, right after that startup. Typically that EX is gonna win, but that small delay, that neutral jump just to get out of trouble.
Got to confirm after the stand strong. Decided to throw the can after the bullhead, and up to stuff was forced to block it, but either way, Idom's still trying to fight within the space of, like, his mid-range to long distance, which is going to be benefiting Up to Snuff more so because he gets to build this V gauge, right? With that V skill, back-to-back V skills, he's already got it locked and loaded.
Oh, low forward activated once again. Up to Snuff, just looking to make sure Idom isn't blocking those legs. With the low. Tries to follow up with that trigger too.
Makes it safe.
Up to Snuff just down backing, make sure he stays out of trouble. Seismo finds his mark. And it looks like Idom's whiffing a bit much. Up to Snuff, just looking for it. There's the CA confirm, and that's gonna be it. Put something hot on you.
The counter pull.
All right, feels like we're beating a dead horse over here when it comes to Team Storm, specifically Idom, once again, playing the birdie. Obviously not his main character, because we don't see Laura. But for the first time, we are actually seeing Up to Snuff show up with this Necalli. This is his Necalli's first win. Was this more about Up to Snuff showing the power of his Necalli, or was this more about beating up on an incapable birdie, SplicedHelix?
I think it's both. I think Up to Snuff is you know, he's getting the feel for it. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to play his character. And poor Idom. Oh man, I have to make the obligatory finished all the trials joke because Geki's not here. But he looks like he's trying to play his main through birdie, and that's not going to work.
Mortsy.
think that it was a bit, like Helix said, I think it was a bit of both. But I also think there's a certain kind of confidence you go into a match when you know that the opponent is in an uncomfortable. You have a certain, like, he's going to that match going, this is going to be the easiest match of my life. And so he's going to play accordingly. Like, I guess I don't necessarily know how Velociraptor plays like that. Joking. But he was it didn't really seem like he was, like, there's no concern. And when you have that sort of confidence going in, you're gonna look better than you normally do, and generally your opponent isn't going to, like, especially when you, like, he knows he's gonna win. There wasn't, I don't think, any whiff of, like, strength throughout their entire set from IDOM, so he came in confident. He's going to look amazing because he's confident and because IDOM is going to look bad. Yeah, it's a bit of both for sure.
All right, fair enough. So put yourselves in IDOM's shoes for a second. The birdie now 3 weeks in, yet to win. I don't think he's won a game. I think he's gone 2-0-2, 0-2, 0-2. Would you consider going in a different direction? What plays more like Laura? What plays more like his style, SplicedHelix?
I don't know. Hell, try Cody.
Interesting. Same question, Mortsy.
G would be much more similar to Laura, I would think. Well, that would be like the next character I would expect people to go to. The issue is that G's kind of hard to play. So it's not like pick him up on the weekend for funsies kind of character. But I think just everyone should play G anyways. There's no, like, closest to Laura, it's like, if you have a secondary, you might as well have G, because he covers some good matchups, and even then, he's like the Abigail of Season 4. Or he's the 3.0 Abigail of Season 4, where maybe he has bad matchups, but that goes out the window as soon as he activates Feature 2, or Feature 1.
That seems to be the direction everybody's going anyway for their secondaries. There's so many Gs now.
Yep.
Stop!
Yeah, no, there's only supposed to be one president of the Earth, and apparently everybody's playing him. So we'll have to see how far this goes. If this birdie experiment continues with IDOM, we of course are 4 weeks in. There's still 7 weeks to go. Can you imagine how he's feeling having to play this, like, not his character for the next 7 weeks, or at least 7 weeks? Yeah. As we know, it is pre-recorded. Anyways. Moving on to topic number 2, let's talk about Dual Kevin and his Rashid.
Combo routes with Tyrant Slaughter active, so I wasn't sure if he could end after he got that tackle. Forward throw.
Keeping him locked down with EX Whirlwind Shot. Once again, Classical firing with the V reversal to get Dual Kevin off his back. Trying to get more of this space, dashes up, tries to check with the crouch strong, Dual Kevin way out of range.
Ooh. My man has an eye for that standing fierce.
It's not fair, Rashid has a scouter on. He gets to read every move before he moves. Ooh, yeah, EX knees out of the corner. I like the idea. Classical spending that bar to reverse the table here.
Yeah. Switching position, puts him in the corner. There's a trade right after that tackle, and you see instantly Dual Kevin going and checking those toes. Whoa.
Oh, he reached out and made a deal.
That's gonna hurt. No? That's still
big time. Stun? No, not quite. He goes to the reset.
Oh, he was ready with it. Should have just took the damage.
Tyrant Slaughter. Oh, he pressed the button. He caught a delayed normal or a throw tech, but either way, that puts Dual Kevin up.
All right, so Dual Kevin's Rashid. Feels like he's been swept under the radar with JB in this tournament as a higher profile player as well. Classical also looking like he has something to prove with this Urian and being voted in by his community, etc., and being known for this Tyrant pressure, this V-Trigger too, that not a lot of Urians are capable of playing, but he seems to be playing it at a relatively high level, though we haven't seen him win out that much. Which player do you guys think has more to prove in this tournament, Mortsy?
Classico, easy. Although, I would say, I think Tyrant Slaughter, Tyrant Pressure, whatever, far easier to use than Aegis. It's just no one uses it because they have like Aegis as an option. It's like it's the same thing as like V-Trigger 1 and V-Trigger 2 for G. You're not gonna pick V-Trigger 2 because V-Trigger 1 literally just wins game by itself. Or like Colleen, I think, is a very good example as well of I'm literally never going to pick V-Trigger 1 because V-Trigger 2 exists. But Classico has far more to prove due to one, he needs to show that he is picking V-Trigger 2 for a reason, and he hasn't yet. That it hasn't. I don't think it's really. Maybe last week I think he did some cool stuff with it, but we haven't seen any of it. We didn't see any of it in this set. And other than that, he was one of the vote-ins, and I think that inherently, all of the non-vote-ins, all the online warriors and or captains they don't need to prove themselves because they work to get in. Whereas it's not to say that getting voted in and campaigning isn't tiresome and or you're working to get in, but it's doesn't say anything about your play. Whereas with the online warriors and the captains, there's no question that they're a strong player. Whereas I think with Classico and some of the other vote-ins, you could say does he deserve to be here? And so far he hasn't necessarily proved that.
All right, SplicedHelix, how do you feel about Dual Kevin's Rashid, and does he have more to gain from this tournament overall than Classico, or are they all kind of in the same boat, just have to prove themselves in competition?
I think both of the players that are at the topic, either way, whether you're voted in or online when you're way in, I think it's both. I think they both have to prove that they should be there. I think what Mortsy was saying is absolutely true. As far as the vote-ins, that's networking. How many retweets can you get? How many people, can you contact about it? Vote for me. All that good stuff is not necessarily indicative of how you play. And having to win an online tournament, you still have to win a tournament to get in. Having to have CPT points, you still have to win tournaments or place in tournaments to get in. So I think everybody that's not a team captain has something to prove. And on a level of something to prove, I think the vote-ins have more to prove than the online qualifier guys do. I agree with Mortsy 100%.
All right, not much else to say really about that topic because I'm agreeing with you guys as well. It feels like Classico does have to work a little bit harder to try and prove something, being a community vote-in. Not having, again, same points, not having won a tournament to get in there, but having to do work regardless. Yeah, Mortsy.
Well, it's kind of unfortunate with the way because it's pre-recorded, it's not like someone can go, all right, this week I didn't do so well, so I'm going to work on my stuff this week. Or work on my stuff in the next week and come back and really try and show them. It's like, damn, I didn't do that great 20 minutes ago. I gotta step it up for this one. You don't really get a chance to, okay, this is what I was missing. This is what I need to be doing. It's just like, bam, next set. I'm making the assumption. I'm working under the assumption that they were doing it that quickly. But yeah, it's difficult. It's very difficult. It's kind of like what we see now is what we're going to get for the entire spread.
Do you think then, since you brought it up, I'll pose this question to both of you. Do you think that this format works out for them, or do you think that it will change and they'll spread it out a little bit more just to show that these players are capable of adjusting with more time to prepare?
Helix, you want to hit that one first?
I don't think... I
don't want to hit this one.
I do and I don't. I don't think it'll make a difference per se. As you're not gonna fly in and fly out every single week. You're not gonna fly in and fly out once a month. It's just not. It's not cost
practical.
Yeah, it's not cost effective for them to do that. But I mean, at this point, you should be prepared for that kind of stuff at that level anyway. As that's the way I look at it. I could be wrong because I'm not anywhere near that level, but from a viewer standpoint, from somebody who watches tournaments and who knows that to expect more from the pro players, you should be prepared for pretty much anything.
All right, so we'll leave the topic on dual Kevin and Cloud. Oh, right, so one
something to
more.
say.
Go ahead, Mortsy, go ahead.
So with the summit voting, I'm like the online warriors, they're gonna be fine. As I said, the captains will also be fine. The online warriors, so it happens with every voting process to get someone in. At the Summit of Time, isn't it like this weekend as well, Summit of Time, or is it the next week?
I think it's this weekend. I think.
Yeah, someone is going to go 0-12. Someone has to go 0-12. They don't have to, but someone will. Someone's gonna go 0-12. Mango went 0-12 at Ultimate Summit. Yahuzi, I think, went 0-12 at the Summit of Power for Dragon Ball Z. Like, it just happens. There's someone who gets voted in, who campaigns, who isn't necessarily up to the same strength of the rest of the pool of players. And while though the Summit voting is much more relaxed, the voting isn't more relaxed. Sorry, the tournament itself is much more relaxed, and so it's kind of like they're offering their personality as well, not just their gameplay. So people like Yahuzi and whoever, and some of the players, like having the representation of OC or Oceania for Waz. Even if he does poorly, it's still gonna be awesome that he's there and representing his countrymen. I hope he has a big ass flag for his country, because that'd be sick. But people can offer more, but you're completely judged based on your gameplay, unless I think Toy and IDOM have a lot of slack being cut for them currently, because what are they supposed to do at this point?
Well, you can't judge their gameplay because they don't get to play their game.
It's just like, and it's part of the format, and it's just like, but that's like whatever. Like, this wouldn't have any effect at an actual tournament where they're playing their mains. And frankly, though, getting to actually hear IDOM and Toy's like talk, and Toy showing off his personality is fantastic. I love it, man. Like, having them there has been really fun.
I really hope we do get to see more from Toy later on, because I really the just that line, the best birdie NA, just it's entertaining as all hell. So shout outs to Toy for that one.
Or Bully Legs, for that matter. Getting to hear that motherfucker's funny.
Yeah, we are going to get into that topic much later, and it is great that we do get into that topic. But more on that one for match number 2. Let's finish off match number 1 here. Last clip, it's going to be, let's talk about the resurgence of one samurai who, until this past week, hadn't actually won a game.
Into your strategy going forward. As we look back at this replay, Samurai started from the very beginning of his set and just took control back for his team to win the set. Like right there,
that was super
the perfect
impressive
range.
by Samurai.
These size modes you see up to snuff, trying to get something started. This is when we noticed that he had trigger 2.
Impressive work there from Samurai, just closing the gap against up to snuff, and again going against dual Kevin as well. Man, he carried pretty hard. I gotta say it, he did carry. It was 3 straight wins. The last man standing wins. That's how it's gonna be. You know, he's gonna put his team up on the board, and that fancy finish, I told you it was gonna come down to a critical out.
See Samurai.
All right, so there you saw Samurai and the OCV, the one character victory, running it back after his team kind of let him down a little bit. His meditation tactic makes it look like he's more or less asleep prior to the match, and until this point, it felt like he was. Different story this time around. He went 6-0. It wasn't even just a regular OCV. It was a dominant one. He went 6-0 over the entirety of the set against Team Frost. How much of a threat is Samurai now that we've seen the full power of his Akuma? And we've seen what he is capable of, SplicedHelix.
I mean, he swept. He did a perfect sweep. That you have to account for that now. You have to look at that and see there's another threat on this team. So do you take away Birdie again, or I'm sorry, Laura again, or do you take away Akuma? And it's going to be one of those things, since we haven't seen Idom's Laura at all, then, who do you ban? And if you take the chance and ban Samurai's Akuma, sure, he's out of the picture because he's a real threat now. He took out an entire team by himself.
Mortsy, is Samurai the real deal threat? And do you actually consider banning Akuma in future stages, especially now that Team Storm is still near the bottom of the standings? Do you take that risk?
No. Not to say someone's going to do it. Like, it's not like I personally am not going to take the risk of leaving Laura up. Yes, I think everyone who's at that tournament knows who Samurai is, knows how strong of a player he is, and knows that he's capable of doing a 6-0 or doing an OCV long before it actually happened. Almost everyone at this event is capable of pulling off an OCV. Partly also due to how, though, this Street Fighter that they're playing, not the game itself, but the style that they play at higher level, is not nearly as volatile as it might be elsewhere at a lower level. But here, almost everyone is capable of doing this sort of thing. There's probably a few that aren't, but you never know. This is a volatile game. And especially we watch we watch Nephew do it. We've now watched Samurai do it. I think we had one last time. I think, did Justin do it last week when he got, because he got Manat.
Justikid did it in week 1.
Justikid. Yeah, okay.
And then more on Punk did it and we're going to talk about that next as well.
So like everyone's capable of it. But I still don't think someone's going to be like, I'm going to let them have Laura. What's the worst that could happen? And then Idom is going to OCV their entire team. And like you're picking between the nicer of two evils, right? It's not, but I still think you ban the Laura just due to also a lack of matchup knowledge from everyone else. Everyone's played Akuma. How many Lauras on the scale of Idom have you played? Right? Unless there's any other, like Shine would be the only one, or Shine. Are there any other New Yorkers, right? NLBC regulars? It's just Shine and Idom, right? That I can think of.
I can't think of any others.
Maybe...
Dominion?
No, I'm thinking like at SFL.
Oh, at SFL. Yeah, no, it's just those two, as far as I know.
Yeah. So maybe I don't know. I can't remember where Dual Kevin's from, but maybe. Anyways, yeah, there's no one with consistent experience against that team or against Laura. So I don't see anyone not banning Laura. And they'll take their chances with Samurai.
They're the only team now though with 2 people that have OCV'd.
That is true.
2 different weeks. They've got, if they give Idom Laura for whatever reason and he does it, it'll be the only team with a full OCV for each.
Wait,
for each.
Palacico OCV'd? Who are you thinking of?
Who am I thinking of?
I think you're thinking of Justikid.
No, you're thinking of the wrong team.
No.
Yeah, my bad.
Oh, all good. All good.
No, they definitely haven't, but yeah.
Just going back on Samurai for a second, they brought it up in the recap clip, and I saw it selected right away at the beginning of the match, and I was just like, this is very, very interesting. What do you guys think about the V-Trigger 2 selection against Up to Snuff?
I mean, it's Samurai. He's solid. He knows his character. He's solid on both V-Triggers, and, well, I mean, he OCV'd the whole...
Do you think we're going to see more of that V-Trigger 2 in this tournament, Mortsy?
No. Unless he plays Psycho. I am going on to work under the assumption that is purely a Nikali counterpick V-Trigger due to... So, it's just a guess. Oh, no, I just thought of it. It's super real. As soon as he's in V-Trigger and you get him down to low health, you have like a 200 damage chip right? Because he can't V reversal if he's in V trigger, and you just do the like the fireball, red fireball, fireball, red fireball, and then super, and he's dead from like a ridiculously high amount of health, and Akali cannot get out of it.
I actually just thought about that. Now that is insane. Yeah. That is actually insane.
Right? He gets a massive chip damage, and so it's something that he can use against Akali. Also, I'd like to point out in the clip that we were watching, when he just stood there, did nothing.
Okay.
Oh, I love it when people do that, dude. Just exhume confidence. You're not down backing. You're literally standing there outside because you know the range.
He did that because I brought up the E-League Amateur Series earlier. I commentated that. And he did that during that series in a set against Commander Jesse, and I was dying because that was insanely good. To do that against a Dhalsim, whose range extends, to stand still and go, I dare you to hit a button. That is crazy. That's absolutely insane.
Awesome. And there's nothing an Akali could do from that range. Nothing he was willing to do from that range. So, yeah, I think the V-Trigger 2 is, I believe, an Akali-specific thing. Where there's a 100% chance that there's probably that sentence doesn't work. There's a good chance that they're not going to have V-reversal available for that at some point.
There's a 100% chance, probably, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. God damn it.
All right, thank you. I didn't want to be the only guy making a mistake this cap.
Nah, it's okay. So well, yeah, that's where the V-Trigger 2 came in. And honestly, it's not that bad outside of that anyways. It's just, again, it's a choice of, I pick V-Trigger 2, or do I have Whiff Cancel Fireball? And then into, like, 450 damage off of literally any hit. Into a set knockdown with set play.
Yeah, no, they're just absolutely unreal on the part of Samurai. It's nice to see him wake up and bring out the inner demon, so to speak. Coming up next, let's talk about match number 2 between, this was arguably the set of the night, my goodness. Team Spirit versus Team Inferno. Team Spirit went in, of course, surprisingly, after Week 2 Match Day 1, 0-3. And it seemed like they were kind of floundering, and it took a mistake from Team Psycho to ban Karen instead of Minot for Justin to stop the hot streak of one Just a Kid who had gone to that point 5-0 until running into Justin, which is absolutely crazy. 1-1, 4th overall for Team Spirit, and on the other side, of course, the SplicedHelix special, a fantastic pick with Team Inferno. And the scary part about it, the so-called worst player on Team Inferno, Broly Legs, has lost each of his first 3 sets 2-1 in a hairline victories. Like, I'm not even talking, they were close. So, Broly Legs looking strong in defeat. Punk and JB just looking dominant, period. Top of the table at 2-0. Here's your first clip. Here's the 50-50 that you guys get to pick on for this one. Take a look.
Plus 10 to strength with the baby power up. Plus 20 to charisma due to him being married.
Oh man.
It's a dangerous cat.
IRL stab boost. Oh man. Okay, catches him walking forward. Oh, swings in the middle. That could have been a big punish. V-reversal to try to get Justin away. He gets that crouching medium punch anyway. That's why you ban the character. That's why you do it.
I haven't seen Justin Wong this offensive in such a long time.
He's tired of playing. He used to move 4 times in a row. Gets the crush right after it. V-reversal. So smart. Keeps the corner. There's another one. He knows it's towards the end. He does not have to commit. That's going to be 2-0 on the side of Justin Wong. He got a little smile on his face. Look at him. Look.
All right, gentlemen, here's your 50-50. In an interesting turn of events, Team Spirit opted to ban JB. They banned Rashid, and JB, like Idom and Toy before him, opting to go with the birdie. Right decision or wrong one? And if wrong, which character should JB have chosen instead? SplicedHelix.
Why is everybody picking birdie? I don't understand it. I mean, yeah, okay. You can hit certain buttons with him and just do ridiculous amounts of damage, but Why? Why Birdie? I think he could probably pick up Zeku. You know, he plays Rashid. Zeku seems to be, you know, you've got the two different play styles that you can do the same kind of tricksy stuff that Rashid does, but why Birdie? I don't get it.
Mortsy, was Birdie the right call for JB? You are a former Rashid player. You know the play style. You know the type of character that he is. Why? It feels like Birdie's the complete opposite, no?
I think JB is the best Birdie at SFL. It's not hard to get there. Okay. But for the record, he has brought out the Birdie previously at a Wednesday Night Fights to practice it specifically for this. He has been, and I actually ran into him in ranked before SFL came out, or started playing Birdie. So he actually put practice into this character because he knew, despite, like, regardless of what team he'd be on, he would end up being the target of a ban. I hope IDOM and Toy are listening, because this is how you prepare for a league with bans. But I think that because it was kind of a short notice thing, and at the time, Birdie was the new hotness. Feature 2 was, everyone was looking like, damn, Birdie is some shit. And so everyone is kind of like, this is, and it's not exactly the hardest character to pick up compared to some other characters like Zeku that would be very hard to pick up in a short span of time. Because there's a lot of intricacies. You're literally playing two characters, and so that's a lot of stuff to pick up in a short period of time in order for an event of this caliber. So I do definitely think that the Birdie is a not necessarily the best choice, but certainly a logical choice for the time period in which he was looking to pick up a character.
I want to see somebody take a ban and pick Nash.
That would.
I don't think there's any Nash players.
The only person.
Once against Itabashi.
There are two.
There Capcom Cup, didn't he?
There are
Evo, maybe.
Yeah, there are only two potential people who could play Nash at this particular tournament: Knuckle-Doo and Punk.
Knuckle-Doo.
Oh, I thought he meant overall. I was gonna say Toga and Toga.
No. No,
I'm talking like actually. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I thought it would be interesting. I actually think that. It's weird, but I actually think Nash would have fit JB's style a lot. A lot of hit and run, a lot of simple offense. Like, nothing over-the-top complicated. But
what are you trying to say, Toga?
The character is not hard. He's just bad. Anyways, but with regards to that, knowing that he was going up against Justin, or at least after the order was revealed, I don't think Nash would have been the right pick, because that's almost a 7-3 matchup for Karen. Birdie, on the other hand, might have been, as Mortsy said, relatively logical, because a lot of Karen players say that the matchup favors Birdie over Karen. What do you guys think, Mortsy?
I mean, I don't think it would have mattered what character, who he was fighting. He would have played Birdie regardless. But they're pretty lucky that they got that matchup in the first place. Like that. Although, damn, Justin hitting those fierces when he had him in the corner. You see the white life he built up just from JB sitting there and taking it? And then he goes to the anti-air, and he uses Fierce, and then he gets a counter hit Fierce. That shit, that's bull, man. God. Thank you, Fang, for having a long jump, but I feel sorry for you poor characters who can't punt or, like, reach out and just give her a little slap for trying to hit two Fierces in a row.
I think the most devastating part about that last clip that we saw and how Justin took that, it wasn't just the anti-air fierces, but the offensive V-reversals that keep him in the corner.
Yeah.
Especially forcing JB to use meter on those EX bullhorns. That was absolutely ridiculous. So great strategy from Justin, knowing how to cage that particular bad matchup. Last word, SplicedHelix.
I don't got nothing else to say.
All right, then. I thought you had something else. But, okay, we are good, then. Last topic here for the 50-50. We would be remiss if we don't talk about the best in the world. You heard me say it here first. Of course, the name Punk, synonymous with the best in the world, not just in Street Fighter, but where Punk got his name from, professional wrestling. CM Punk also coined himself the best in the world. Let's take a look at Punk's work in this set. Match of the night, Punk versus Justin Wong.
round right now. Final round right now. This team told.
You're not allowed to say it without Rip here.
He's right there.
He pointed right at you. He's like, you better execute it well, Steve. Shoot the J.
Shoot it.
A lot of meter on Punk's behalf. You see that in the bottom right corner of your screen. He does have a lot locked and loaded. He might have critical art very soon. Boom, that's going to give it to him. Even a bigger threat. He has to use the meter, as Justin Wong exclaimed during the matchup in between.
Justin playing so much more aggressive, backing up, using standing medium kick. Punk, no buttons coming out in the last like 10 seconds. Finally finds a jump in. And this is bad news for Justin. Gets the knockdown, wake up with the crouch jab.
Side switch, yes sir. After the EX Tenko, he's allowed to do that with the command dash. Here comes that activation from Punk. Trying to find his way out the corner. Nice anti-air. Justin was ready for it.
See him have that crouch, that standing roundhouse, waiting for Punk. The minute he hit the ground, there's the tick throw. Tries to go for it again.
Ooh.
Justin says no.
A successful tech at that. Justin Wong most of the time. Oh, wait a minute. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Okay, Justin Wong with a hefty life lead now. Nice tech again. Punk going for the shimmy. Back away. Critical art almost on deck for both players. Justin Wong has critical art now. It is a threat. There is no V reversal on Punk's behalf. The crush counter hits. Okay, into the combo. Crush counter no longer a factor for Punk. Gets one throw. Is going to be another one. He does it again! He does it again!
That is
it's
it.
over!
Justin Wong goes down to Punk. He runs it back with a single-player victory.
Here. Touch my legs. Touch my legs. I want to walk, baby.
So we touched on that pop-off a little bit earlier, but we'll talk more about that in just a second. So there was no question about this one. This was the match of the night. Punk declared outright that he would refuse to play against the Manat, banned it instantly, and ended up targeting Justin Wong and getting Karen instead. Interestingly enough, Punk also had Karen for himself on the table, his best character by far, but opted to go with Colleen. 50-50. Punk's choice to pick a secondary over his main. Mortsy.
Colleen's pretty good.
I don't deny that, but yeah.
I love the dash, the forward dash, back dash with punish on the throw. Justin, you're a freaking madman for teching there. I mean, he reaped what he sowed. Yeah, whatever. He reaped what he sowed. He got his just rewards. I don't know how
he
to
got what was
in the past tense.
He
Yeah,
got
exactly.
what was coming.
Yeah, that you don't tech there, man. And the fact that Justin also checked after crouch medium kick is crazy. He checked with crouch medium punch. He checked. Is crouch medium punch 5 or 6? I think it's 6.
No, it's 5.
Oh my god! For Karen, are you kidding me? That's a stupid character. The fact that he checked that, he was +1. It's honestly blows me away a little bit. Anyways, I think this Colleen, he's been basically training this. It doesn't even feel like a secondary. It's like a 1.5 ERA. It's that tight. Obviously, Karen is what he's known for, but he beat Nephew in the mirror last year at the NA Regional Finals with Colleen. He plays enough characters where it's just synonymous. And because when he plays these other characters, you're not playing against that character. You're playing against Punk, who is changing who he's expressing himself through. So it's very similar. Although I actually think of the character that he plays, Colleen is like the least punky, if that makes sense. Just because, yeah, he doesn't have the same kind of confirms. Very counter pokey, very good for baiting things in neutral, but not quite the Karen with the low confirms. Same with Cammy, same with Rashid. So otherwise, though, and Shun and Akuma. He's making a list, dude. So yeah, I love the Colleen, and I don't blame him for not wanting to deal with the mirror.
All right, SplicedHelix. This was the second OCV of the night. Punk, of course, started the night in his matchup, won his first game, watched his teammates lose again, Broly legs, tight loss, and then JB, of course, with the birdie before coming back and finishing off both Brian F. and Justin Wong. That is a hit list, to say the very least. Statement win for Punk to not win with his main character?
Well, I think, honestly, if he knew he was going to go up against Karen, and he plays Karen, maybe he has trouble with certain things with Colleen.
Both of them were locked at this point, right?
Punk locked in first because he played first. So that I think he might have been looking ahead. Who knows?
Oh yeah, I mean, he would have picked based on his first.
Well, yeah, I mean, if they ban Minot from the get go though, then he's going to assume Justin's going to go with Karen.
Oh yeah, of course.
So if he personally has some kind of problems with Colleen, or when he plays Karen, or he knows something that gets used against him, and he's got the insight on it, and he knows that he can do it. I mean, it's Punk. I've said it since we predicted the winners all the way through every single week. It's Punk. You have to allot for what used to be the Wong factor is now the Punk problem. So, whoever he plays, you're still playing Punk, and he's going to either dominate or eke it out like he did this time. The text from Justin, I think, came from the fact that he got thrown 4 times in a row by Rob TV. So at that point in the corner, he's thinking, I don't want that to happen again, or he's thinking that they watched that tape or watched that happen and didn't want to repeat it. So Punk capitalized on it, and he still beat everybody he's gone up against.
All right, so with 2 more matchups to go before Punk has literally played against every team for the first time, of the remaining 2 teams, who can actually touch Punk? So week 1, it was Team Frost. They didn't do it. Week 2 was... I actually can't recall. Who did they play week 2?
Have they played Team Gale yet? Because that's my answer. Wait, they played them?
No, they haven't played Gale yet. So Gale is one of the 2 matchups left, and that's probably what we're going to lean on. Just elaborating on this one last thing before we get to Brawly Legs. Who on Team Gale would you want to face Punk, Mortsy?
I think probably a Nabuki ban, I would imagine. Most likely. That's hard though, dude. Plays Punk very often. I imagine. They probably play at every single tournament they go to. At least, like, casuals or something. Shine, probably on Jury. I doubt they do any bans. And then Rob TV. Oh, man, that's a hard one. I still think you put Knuckle do G, ideally. But he won't play G. He'll play, like, Mika or Cammy. It all depends on what Punk is wanting to play. Like, that's a really hard question, because no matter what, you gotta bait out Punk to pick something else and then hope. So I'd say you get Knuckle Do. Okay, you get someone that isn't Knuckle Do to play. I'm just trying to, like, how do you do this? You get someone that isn't Knuckle Do. You try to get them matched up against, so you get Shine or you get Rob TV matched up against Punk. Give them their opportunity to try and beat Punk. Punk locks in his character, and then Knuckle Do goes last and picks his character based on who Punk picks. Ideally wins that one. This is the issue. He has to win, and then takes the favorable matchup to Punk. You have to formulate an entire strategy on not getting OCB, basically.
It's the Punk problem.
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah. No, I think we can coin that phrase for this show and copyright it to SplicedHelix. The Punk problem is actually real. Last thing from this set. You heard the Brawly Legs pop off. You're a god. Touch my legs. I want to walk. Rate that pop off out of 10. Oh. Let's go, Mortsy.
I rate that a toy cartwheel out of a normal pop off. Out of a like samurai nod. after a win, or like from on that scale from toy to samurai, it's like an 11. It takes place of the new 10, basically. It was that no one expected that self-deprecating joke for a pop-off. Dude, you're killing it. Like, that is fantastic.
He's losing by hairlines and he's throwing punchlines. SplicedHelix, last word on that one.
I tell you what, man. If you're gonna rate it on being memorable, that's up there with the Justin roll after the Marvel. I mean, that will be talked about for. Golly, somebody needs a pop off. They're gonna be like, touch Broly legs. It's gonna be a thing.
It's gonna get referenced.
If he wants to come and help me out with the MS stuff, I mean, he can visit me too.
Oh my goodness. As a commentator, I can't believe... I'm impressed with how well put together, or well held together, Tasty Steve and Vicious were after hearing that. And they were busting out laughing, and they still managed to keep it together. That is absolutely ridiculous. Much love to Broly Legs. And he is literally a hairline away from winning one of these sets. He is playing absolutely out of his mind for someone who has not won a game, or won a full set as of yet. And that's just really making Inferno super, super dangerous.
Playing super well. Very, very
Called
well.
All right. That does it for our 50-50s. Let's get into our final round. Puck showed why he was the best in the world, finding a way to clutch out game number 5. Let's see if you guys can clutch out some of the topics here for the last one. Let's talk about Team Gale versus Team Psycho. Take a look.
Can't anti-air it. Neutral jump with the target combo. Excellent reads there and excellent execution from Rob TV. Let's confirm off the low forward.
Back throw.
Oh, wasn't ready for the command dash. Even though it was blocked, right?
Back dash.
Range. Oh my goodness. Oh! You don't want to interrupt that. If that trades, he gets us fierce. Hiya!
Ooh, he rolled that bit. Yo, he looked.
You feel like a genius.
All right, guys. That was Rob TV and his Karen versus Just a Kid and his jury. We have been talking the last 2 weeks about the tear, the absolute tear that Just a Kid has been on with this jury. The only one to stop his momentum so far, Justin Wong. He had to play 6 games in 2 weeks, or in 2 weeks. He's played as many games as you could possibly play up to this point. He's played 6, and he's gone 5-1. However, last week, Rob TV, showing that he's game, going with the Karen, who people still don't believe is his main character. They still think it's Guile. Is this a glitch in the Matrix when it comes to Just a Kid? Is the streak done? Is the hotness no longer the hotness? Or is it Rob TV breaking out into something in the future that's absolutely crazy? Mortsy.
I think Rob TV did an excellent job of just keeping the pressure on and not really letting Just a Kid get away with anything. Also, if you leave the bloody mouse on the pause button again for the next clip, I'm going to come over to your house and give you a big old slap.
That's my bad. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. Give you the fang sleeve slap, man. Yeah, no, I think Rob TV just played it super well. Karen is unbelievably explosive with a couple bars. She spends bar. It's literally, she's one of the few characters who's just like, only time I ever spend meter is if I want to blow your health bar away. Like, she doesn't really, and I guess reversal DP, but other than that, it's like almost, like, it's purely off of confirmed and off of, I want to blow your health bar. I want to blow your health bar away.
This is what happens when we finish the script at 10 in the morning, day of production. Sorry, guys.
That's unscripted, for the record.
We had to have a Geki finger lick moment.
Dude, Anyways, yeah, Rob TV was just really killing it this time. And Just a Kid really wasn't able to get any momentum. Plus, who were like Just a Kid? I guess he's OCV'd like every team. But
yeah, he has.
He's so far his 2 losses though. Haven't they both been Karen? Unless no, he lost to Manat.
He lost to Manat. Yeah.
Yeah. So Manat and Karen. So characters that control neutral a bit better than Jury. Yeah.
Fair enough. SplicedHelix, you are a Guile player, so we can talk about Guile a little bit. Will we see Rob TV actually pick his main character, Guile, in this tournament?
Somebody from that team needs to. I mean, you got Do and Rob on the same team, and nobody's picked Guile. It's Guile. Come on. It's just once. I mean, Karen's good. Karen's good. He was not letting him play his game at all. He was keeping the pressure on. That stupid shoulder tackle does too much damage. It does too much damage.
EX Orochi, dude, does
Oh
like
my god.
By that all the time,
more,
and it does too much damage.
Yeah.
And that's, it goes to the point that that Mortsy was talking about. It's you spend meter with Karen and you melt the other person, and he used his openings and didn't let Just Kid play his game, and
140 damage.
That's ridiculous. It's an EX move. It does too much damage. Nerf it.
A lot.
Nerf G also.
Call back to last week when we were talking about the strength of the president. I just think it's very interesting that it feels like NuckleDo and Rob TV are in this Canadian standoff moment where one of them's holding open the door and neither one of them want to go through without letting the other one go in first. And going through the door means picking Guile. And it's been 3 weeks now, and nobody has walked through the door. Very.
No one is picked.
They're both the Guile players, right? There's no other person who plays Guile. The issue is that I don't think they're getting any matchups where they're like, this is a Guile match.
So that's
maybe like he kind of got it against Chakotay. Like I think Guile's pretty good against Mika. I'm imagining.
Mm-hmm.
Looking for confirmation. SplicedHelix.
Oh yeah, I mean as long as you can keep her out, that's.
Should ask Daddy Finger.
Jump. Okay, go ahead, jump. Let me flash kick you.
Yeah. But I think do we talk about it? Chakotay and the.
Oh, we are going to be talking about Chakotay in the next one.
I'll leave it at that for now.
Okay. And so you guys. Okay, no, we'll get into the next topic then. Finally, we're going to be talking about El Chakotay. Feels like he was a talking point for a while. He was almost the number 3 pick. He was picked in the exhibition match for Justin Wong's team. Ended up losing, and Justin opted to go with Brian F. Let's take a look at Chakotay and his Mika.
El Chakotay.
El Chakotay.
El Chipotle.
Final round. El Chakotay has one more chance.
This is the final round, potential final round for this team battle for Team Psycho.
It's strange. We've seen so many instances where Team Psycho had like the upper hand, and all it took was that rebuttal from Team Gale just to get things back into control. Toy letting El Chakotay know he's been playing a really good neutral as of late. NuckleDo taking his time.
Doing such a great job of not letting him get started whatsoever. Chakotay using that assist, trying to get past NuckleDo's defenses, but once that's over, it's back to square one, using the stand medium kick, keeping him out. 60 seconds down on the clock already. Chakotay finally getting the opening. Is he gonna play his game? Will NuckleDo shut him down? And he does so again with one button, the medium kick.
I heard the whole crowd outside.
Yeah, I got it.
So that's El Chakotay and his Rainbow Mika. He is currently viewed as the best Mika player in North America and is arguably, by many people's standards, the top online player in North America as well. Incredible resume, beat Taquito last year at a major, second place at Frosty Faustings, and now sponsored by the Gaming Stadium, our local over here.
Woo.
Shout outs to the Gaming Stadium. Afforded the opportunity to travel and compete against the best in the world. Yet El Chakotay and that wealth of experience not paying off during this Street Fighter League. His current record is 0-3. match record against Samurai, Brian F, and now NuckleDu with a combined 2-6. Mortsy, you and I know him personally, so we'll get to talk about it a little bit later, but we'll start with SplicedHelix. Where is our boy, El Chakotay, and will he turn it around?
I don't know. Is it just bad matchups? Is it, I don't know, a lack of confidence? I don't think that would play into it, but honestly, I was expecting a lot more from him. He's really, really good. And it's unexplainable to me why he's only taken 2 games out of all of them. Because he's a strong player. He's a strong player. And it's Mika. 50-50s in the corner all day. But you got to get him to the corner first. So I don't know what he can change in order to get that going. And I don't know what it's going to take for him to be that much of a factor in the picking process or the team order process or anything like that, if they're even considering him at this point.
All right, Mortsy, let's talk about our boy for a second. We touched on it earlier. NuckleDu opted to go with the Cammy in this matchup, which is strange considering Guile would have been probably the better choice just in terms of keeping Mika out. We talked about bad matchups potentially. Samurai with Akuma, Brian F with Balrog, and now NuckleDu with Cammy. Can you possibly explain how he's 2-6?
Yes. He has gotten pretty terrible, not luck per se, but he's gotten some hard matchups to deal with. Chakotay has a hard time. He has been having a hard time in neutral. How many medium kicks did he just walk into? Like, there wasn't... He was very focused on trying to move horizontally. He jumped one... I think he jumped at the start of the round, got DP'd, and was like, I'm done jumping forever. And then he did... I think he's been... Actually, NuckleDu's done a fairly good job in the rest of that set of interrupting the dive, or the drop kick as well, with Fierce. He got crush countered the one time we did see it in that round, but it wasn't really an option that he was frequently going for. Especially after the first couple times, because honestly I was surprised to see it when we did at all. But I think he shouldn't be either one, he shouldn't be dissuaded from jumping after getting DP'd once, and 2, especially when he's constantly sticking out these medium kicks that are just so good to jump in on. And the other thing is he's standing in a range. And this is something that he's had trouble with. He had the same problem with Punk stand medium kick at Frosty Faustings, or just neutral controlling characters in general, where he stands like I'm trying to get in. I'm trying to counter poke as opposed to whiff punish. So he stands closer than he should be. So he should be looking, especially once he gets the bar, he should be backing up. Mind you, I'm not a Mika player, so I could just be blowing a load of crap here. But he should be backing up and looking for a medium punch whiff punish to actually start the offense. And I do like him blocking when he did get the knockdown after the crush counter. I would have expected the DP2 finally gets in, and that would be the first thing I would expect my opponent to do. So it was probably a better idea, but still, he's playing in a range that his character isn't strong in, that his opponent's characters are incredibly strong in, and it just hasn't been working. He needs to, he's still taking it close. That was last round. He's still doing a good job, and even though he's only been 2-0'd once, he's still taking rounds and games and all the other sets. He's just getting out neutraled really badly, and he needs to take a literal step back and figurative and reassess why he's losing these matchups. But I'm excited because he's just going to ideally get a little bit better as it goes on. That's what's really nice about having these teams, is that you have outward eyes constantly looking and be like, this is what you need to work on, this is what you're losing to, and they can tell you that even mid-set, but it hasn't been enough. He'll pick something up soon. He will.
All right, so with 2 matches left to go before everybody plays once, we talked about sort of all the characters during the draft show, about what each player has, each player has in terms of character depth. Chakotay, of course, only has the Mika. Are there any favorable matchups left for him, or were there favorable matchups for Mika to begin with in this tournament at all. SplicedHelix.
Chakotay has a G as well. It's not. I mean, it's I play online sets with viewers kind of G, and he has taken it into ranked before, but it's not something he's ever brought out at a tournament. But it is there if he chooses to use it. There's just no geefs in this in the SFL, so it's not like he's never gonna need to bring it out for that. But
that's where I was gonna go to. I've seen him play G, so I don't know if he's confident enough with it to switch to G, to use G in this format. But hey, if nothing else is working, why the heck not?
Agreed.
All right. So hopefully he does get to turn around. He's a personal favorite, of course, of ours, because we are personal friends with him, and we do talk to him a lot about pretty much everything while he's kicking the crap out of us for the most part.
Stop getting shit on.
So hopefully he does.
Actually, Bruce beat him.
This is true. We were talking about this.
Majors when we were playing casuals in the room.
Yeah, and that's
I've taken 2 games from him online out of like 9 sets. So.
Yeah, no, we actually I did want to touch on that a little bit. Mortsy talked about neutral heavy counterpoke characters just giving him a hard time. Bruce, of course, one of our best, a Balrog player, takes a lot of what he does.
Or no, that's dog memes.
Yeah, yeah, he does, and Bruce does take a lot of what he does from Brian F. And we saw Brian F. also beat Chakotay earlier in the season. So that's it for us here at Beyond the Fist for episode 4. Week 4, match day 3. All video footage from today's livecast is used with permission from Capcom. Follow the SFL and the Capcom Pro Tour on Twitch at twitch.tv/CapcomFighters, on YouTube at youtube.com/CapcomFighters, and on Facebook Live, facebook.com/CapcomFighters. Week 5 of the Street Fighter League airs tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific time. You can watch on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. Thank you to the panel that was here today. Mortsy and SplicedHelix. Shout outs to Geki. Geki will be back on Monday. That is when we are on the air next. Find out what we see beyond our fists then for Mortsy and SplicedHelix. This is togashiazrael. Thank you very, very much for watching. We will see you guys next time. If you have any questions, of course, you can shout us out on Twitter at SplicedHelix, at Mortsy FGC, and at togashiazrael. I will actually be staying in Toga TV chat for the next 15 minutes. If anybody has any questions for me or the panel, or if you want us to discuss something, I will answer them in chat. Thanks for hanging out. We will see you guys on Monday. Take care, everybody.
3A400.